Matt's always been lights out. Matt's always been lights out. He's just perfect. He's a perfect actor. I love watching him, and I know him so well. I would feel I know you better than most of my friends.
It's been 12 years since you worked together in a movie called Adjustment Bureau.
Which was probably the last time you felt this way coming out of
You wanted your whole family to go see that and talk about
and
it,
talk
right?
about it, and now I'm glad we could give you another one to talk about.
Yeah, this is our plan. Every 12 years, and a colossal, thought-provoking
There
film.
wasn't much Matt and Emily screen time.
No.
I know, I
Emily,
know.
I want to take it to you, because in the 12 years, how has Matt grown as an actor?
Matt's always been lights out. Matt's always been lights out. He's just perfect. He's a perfect actor. I love watching him, and I know him so well. I would feel I know you better than most of my friends. And I still get completely taken in by it. I love it. He kidnaps me. Adore watching him.
This is your 6th film with Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
You've been working for nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
First time in the lead role in one of his films. So
Yeah.
you're bringing that main character energy. How did it feel to be, you know, to have worked with him for this long and then to get this role?
I mean, it was a dream. You can't really say it any other way, you know. It's kind of a cliche, but it's the truth. I'm such a fan of his work. I was before I ever met him and started working with him. They're exactly the sort of films that I love to watch. And you know, I had no idea that it was going to happen. He just called me up. The script was done. He flew to Ireland, gave me the script, and then it happened. So it was a very pleasant shock.
I try to be very disciplined when I'm writing.
Yeah.
To not write with actors in mind.
Sure.
Especially when I'm dealing with a real life figure. I want to write with Oppenheimer in mind. But then when you finish, you look at the cover of American Prometheus, the book I'm adapting.
Yeah.
This incredible blue-eyed stare of the real Oppenheimer, and I look at that and say, I know who can do that.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to work with Cillian as a lead for a very long time. As soon as I first met him and started working with him, we actually screen tested him for Batman, and then wound up putting him in Batman Begins as the villain. I've known that he's one of the great actors of his generation, or any generation.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's incredible, and his fusion with this character. I mean, I presented him a script that was written in the first person.
Yeah.
So all the stage directions, you know,
Yeah.
I walk across the room, I sit down. This was an indicator to him of he's going to have to carry the whole audience with him, to see it through his eyes.
He's a real complicated person. There were times where I was angry at him, admiring his brain, attracted to him. Like, he was very sexy as, you know.
Very charismatic.
Right?
We worked very, very closely on it. And a very interesting kind of protagonist, because, you know, in most films, the protagonist starts here, he has an arc, and it goes to here. And with Oppenheimer, it was kind of you know, he's very unusual for a protagonist in a film. So it was a challenge kind of plotting that journey the whole time, but a very sort of exciting and stimulating one, and challenging, like very challenging.
I thought you were great in this movie, and I also love what you said about Cillian Murphy's performance, that it's a marathon, because he is everything. He's this complicated person. There were times where I was attracted to him. I admired the brain.
Yeah, no,
I was mad.
Yeah.
I was frustrated, and that's obviously, to do that is...
And that's also Oppenheimer. Like, you've just described the way people talk about Oppenheimer, which
he was such an enigma to people.
Which is the beauty of the script and the direction and the performance. It's like Chris and Cillian were so locked in. It was really fun to watch. And that's what the movie required. Like Chris said from the outset, like, this movie lives or dies on that performance. We're putting the whole thing on his back. And so the two of them really built it together. They were every moment to moment, and it was a marathon. He's in every frame of the movie. Oftentimes he's holding the screen and on an IMAX, you know, on an IMAX close-up. You know, what you have to, and Cillian told us actually a few weeks ago, he said, Chris at one point said to him, he's a chess player, not a boxer, was like a quick note that he gave him. Which was a way of saying to Cillian, you don't have to do anything. Like, the movie's coming to you. Like, you don't, you know what I mean? And it's, and the confidence that it takes to put a story of this scale and a movie of this scale, like, and allow it to be that internal is just awesome. Yeah.
What, for you as an actor in the lead in this role, what was it like to be supported by this amazing crew of talent.
Well, I feel it's more like an ensemble, you know. It was it was nuts. I mean, you know, because I was kind of on this train. I was working every single day, just completely immersed in it, completely consumed by it. You know, and then you'd look at the call sheet and you see that, oh, Gary Oldman's coming in tomorrow, or like Ken Branagh's coming in tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, it was amazing, and each of them was so thrilled to be there for Chris. They all have such huge admiration for Chris. Some, like Matt has worked with Chris before, and Ken has worked with Chris before, Emily hasn't. But, you know, they all were just delighted to be there, and that just shows how much respect people have for Chris in this business. And everyone turned up and smashed it, absolutely. You know, and working with, you know, Robert Downey Jr., just one of my heroes, and he's electrifying to act opposite in a scene. Yeah, it was a joy.
My parents were raised in Hong Kong, which was under Japanese occupation in the 40s, and only ended with Hiroshima. So when we go see it together as a family, I think those conversations are going to be really powerful. And that's, I think, what your film is going to do, is people are going to be having conversations that maybe we haven't been considering enough in the last little while. What is your take on that?
Well, when I first told one of my teenage sons what I was working on, he literally said to me, well, is that something people are concerned about these days? Is it something young people are concerned about? And I said to him, well, firstly, that might be a reason to make the film.
Yeah.
But secondly, what we then saw over the next couple of years as I was making the film is the world once again started to turn back to some of these issues in different ways and worry about it again. Our relationship with nuclear weapons is very complicated. Our fear tends to ebb and flow. It's almost as if we can only sort of worry about, you know, one apocalypse at a time. But nuclear weapons and the danger of them and the significance of what happened at the end of World War II has never gone away.
No.
And can be interpreted in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And Oppenheimer's story is a Rorschach test. And if we've done the film right, it's a Rorschach test for people to look at and look at these questions. And anyone claiming simple answers to any of these issues is ignoring other aspects of what happened in the history and what may happen in the future. And so it would be, I think, a great thing if interesting questions were left for the audience and created conversation around it.
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.